How's it going, guys? Got a plan staying here. I wanted to drop by and chat with you a little bit about my friendly neighbor here, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I feel like, and we got some footage, gameplay footage from one of my earlier streams in the background while we're talking here. Let's dive in. I wanna look at some things here. And I want to talk about Spider-Man because the general perception seems to be
wizard cloaks while we're here?
Yes, Spider-Man. Yes, we do. The general perception right now seems to be not very positive on Spider-Man, and I wanted to let you guys in on a little bit of secret. That's me in the background on the stream. Don't mind me. Okay, so in the video here, actually, before we go into it and look at gearing and stuff, see how I'm doing positioning stuff here in this level 30 trial from a few days ago? We're gonna see when we get the energy up. Well, we're ulting here. But when we get, I think, is that his dash right there? That's not even the dash. So my card RNG was really crap. Oh, no, it wasn't right there. See, now notice the positioning. So this is why I'm running Moon Knight with them instead of Sleepwalker, because I'm forcing Spider-Man here to be a melee character so that he can use friendly neighbor, his skill, on his allies to reduce their mana costs, which we're again blocking over here. But as you can see, like Thor's dash is 2, Moon Knight's buff is 1. That's not their normal cost. Spider-Man's doing his thing over there, reducing the costs. Anyways, while the gameplay goes in the background, let's dive in, because I think maybe looking at how I have him built might give a glimpse and give a little bit more intel into why I think this character is getting slept on as much as he is. So if we take a look at him, you know, I've got his attack is pretty decent, right? We're level 37 right now. Apologies for it being so small. I didn't want to block the combat, but you know what? Maybe we should block some more combat so we can see. There we go. Why? No, Windows. Why? What are you doing to me? Oh my gosh. Apologies, Windows. Windows is just trolling me here. Now we're like ultra wide screen. Is this gonna work? It looks like it's gonna work. Okay. Didn't intend that, but okay, here we are. So we're level 37, yeah. And we've got very specific things on him, right? So if we come in here and take a look at his skills, right? He's got his movement skill, friendly neighbor. This is the crux of his entire value, I think, most of it at least. Okay, so this skill is doing a lot of things for us, right? It's reducing the mana cost for himself and his adjacent allies. Look at that, right on cue. I used it in the game. Look at that. So I lowered all the costs, right? Look at the costs. Even on Spider-Man's debuff skill, it's 1 now instead of 2. We can see right here in the game it's 2. It's a little bit hard to see. Sorry about that. It's smaller. Maybe we should just go full screen. Should we just go full screen now? We saw some gameplay. Okay, so we're gonna go full screen here. We're gonna go full screen. Okay, so his web spinner debuff is 2, and this, unfortunately, at the very start right now, we have to use this, right? Eventually we will not have to because of Soul Saga Mind 1. This gives his basic attacks a chance to do that. And granted, yes, it's a low chance and it is a short duration, but I think if we get enough attack speed onto him, hopefully that will be okay against single targets. That's the impression I'm working with under right now. We will see when we get a dupe and we can put it into him. Okay. So back to friendly neighbor, because this skill is amazing, I think. And so you put him next to, and I've been a real stickler for this, okay? You got to put him next to both of his allies, and so you're getting max value out of this. You want to reduce the mana cost of all 3 characters every time you use this, if you can. But then it also buffs his passive damage over here by, and let's look at that real quick, right? Because right now I have it at 130%. And if we come back over here, it's going to be 195, right? And I know that because it's 150% of the passive damage. And so like we can tell if we look over here again, half of 140, 70 added up together. What do you get? 210 right there. And so not only do you need this to support the team, but you need it for him to do more damage too. And honestly, his damage is pretty legit too. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like Thor level or anything, or Iron Man or Wanda, but from kind of a filler. I mean, the thing is, I'm running a kind of a wonky team, which we could see over here with Thor being my tank, and then Moon Knight being my healer, and then Spider-Man being kind of like the plug and play third. It just so happens that like I tested all these different characters for the third slot, and he outperformed every single one of them. He outperformed Wanda in that slot. He outperformed Misty in that slot. He outperformed Juggernaut in that slot. He outperformed Echo in that slot. He outperformed Psylocke in that slot. I tested a lot of people, and the reason is because he's bringing so many things to the team besides just damage in that slot. So he's bringing his damage right with this, but also with Friendly Neighbor, he's bringing that. With his debuff, when you can use it, he's bringing a lot of damage mitigation for the team because the AoE radius on Web Spinner is quite big. It's so big that in Nightfall you can actually hit both of the arms with it if you place it in the tiles in the middle. So that's good intel to have too. But if we look a little bit deeper, we're going to start seeing where more and more things just are coming from Spider-Man. Okay, so we get this at 21 in the talents, right? He's doing more damage. He's buffing the attacks for his allies with Friendly Neighbor. So Friendly Neighbor is now doing another thing for us. It's lowering mana costs, it's buffing everybody's attacks, and it's making his damage go burr. If we continue looking around on his highlight, I have this, right? And so I think a lot of people think that he doesn't do damage because he's a controller and he's not a striker, even though he's a ranged character, and he does do a lot of damage. And so we can take advantage of that in a few ways. I mean, in some ways, right? Like, if he could use a striker highlight, I probably would, because his damage is quite good. But I think if he could, he would also be broken, right? They specifically made him a controller because if he was a striker, he would have higher base stats, he would have access to more offensive highlights, etc. And that would just make him too strong, I think, because right now his damage as a support type character is already quite good. So we're starting battle with, and I think because he's a controller, I think his ult, if I remember right, is 300. Yeah, it's 300. So he's starting battle with almost a half charged ult right here already. And then if we go over, so remember that we're talking about ult stuff here now too, right? And so if we come over here, click on this, look what I've got on him. So he's buffing attack in two different ways now. So now he's buffing the team attack with an ult too, and he's getting his ult really quick. And so this team is going to have a lot of burst damage like at the start of the fight, because he's going to get his ult up very quickly at the every single fight because of his highlight. And notice I have energy gen on this artifact. I also, oh, I don't. Well, I mean, I do. I have it down here, but I thought I had it up here. I must have given that to someone else. But yeah, so there's that stuff, and then like I said, Might 1 is going to be really good for making it so that he can just do Friendly Neighbor and then he can chill, and then other people on the team can use the mana, and then he can use Web Spinner for one whenever he needs to clear his card off of the board, but he doesn't really need to like highly prioritize that as long as we have this. I think once I get a first dupe into him, I think I'm gonna I think we have to take this one off, and that's when we put one of the jetpacks on, right? Which makes it so that after he uses his skill, he's going to get a lot of increased attack speed, which should make it easier for him to put the web debuff onto single targets with his basic. If we close this, I wish I would have had it queued up. I don't. I think if we scroll around here, no, that's the wrong game mode. If we're in, yeah, this is my bad. I'm not even sure if we're gonna find Spider-Man, because this is the video. This is the video where I scooped up. Oh, and I'm not even showing my screen. Never mind. I think that video that we started watching was the day that I pulled Thor, though, so I think we were testing him more than we were testing Spider-Man. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, if we look at his potential in the Soul Saga 2, I mean, this is even better, right? Because now Friendly Neighbor goes down to 2 costs normally. And if you somehow luck into pulling 2 Friendly Neighbors in a row, after getting this upgrade, the second and subsequent ones after the first are going to cost 1, and so he's going to be able to sustain teams mana wise for long fights, and eventually his follow-up damage will, at max level at 70, will be all the way up to 400%. He gets this on the Heart one, which will make it so his AoE has even more efficient value when you do want or need to use it to like clear your board. A lot of the debuffs, I've noticed a lot of the buffs and debuffs, all the upgrades, whether it's on skills and highlights, they always get upgraded by 50%. So see, originally it's 8, and here it goes up 4 more. Over here we have more damage, and then here, this is where he's really, I mean, this, whenever we get to this point, this is gonna make it so that he's gonna start being able to keep like 100% uptime on that artifact that I have over here on this attack buff, and that's just good quality of life, right? And then the other thing with him getting a lot of ults is that his ult just has a big number, right? It's just good single target. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like Wanda's when she gets, I think, is it Mind 3 for her too? Let me look, sorry. I think it's Mind 3. Yes, it is Mind 3. And so that's going to effectively double her damage to whatever is in the center of her ult's AoE. It'll double this damage, so then it'll just be the same as the AoE part in the center again, and so the center will do like double damage, and so her single target ult will be better than his, but that makes sense, right? Because she's a striker, he's a controller. The point is that out of all the controllers in the game, like if we, well, I don't have them all because I don't have Strange or Emma, but out of all of these controllers, it's not even close. Spider-Man is just gonna do like more damage than any of these other characters, and if you add Emma and you add Strange to that list, he's still gonna out damage them. And I mean, I guess that's kind of like a maybe that's kind of irrelevant, right? Because he's not taking the healer spot anyways. But I think the other point is that I think he's probably like, the support that he's giving might be comparable. You know, we're seeing a lot of people running Emma, Strange, and Wanda for Nightfall, right? And I think if any of those people had Spider-Man and they invested in him like a decent amount like I have, they might find that like that team that they're doing, it might, I mean, they're also using those 2 healers because they need the healing because they're pushing content. But if they didn't need the healing, I think they would probably find that there's a good chance that Wanda might actually, like, the team might actually just do more total damage if they replace Strange with Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man can also buff Wanda, right? With attack and crit. I can't remember where, I think the crit will come from something that I don't have yet. I'm pretty sure it's a 2-star highlight that makes it so whenever you ult, it will boost everybody's crit chance. Actually, wait. I know where that is. Sorry, apologies. We're having brief ADHD moments. I think it's this, right? Yeah. And so this is controller, I believe. This would be incredible on Spider-Man as well, and this would make it so he ults more, so now he's buffing everybody's crit chance and attack every time he ults, and he's gonna ult a ton, especially once he gets done with his Soul Saga. So that's my plug for Spider-Man. I will continue. I wish I had more footage to show. Apologies for that, but I think in the future, as we move forward, I will continue sharing more footage. Yeah, like here we weren't using him. I think we would have to, like I said, I think we would have to check out a different video. We will take a very, very brief poke around here and see if we can't find any more Spider-Man footage. Yeah, see here, look at his damage with these two. I mean, and this was early on. This was lower level, but you can see he's like the support in this group, and he did more damage than Misty, whose entire shtick has changed from being AoE to being single target. So the fact that he did more damage than her there, yeah, I spend way too much time in the menus, so I think that's what we're seeing there. Yeah, and that's AoE. Spider-Man, not really AoE. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I hope that was a little bit helpful. If you have any questions, we've dropped some comments below. I will be streaming the game a lot. If you want to like and subscribe for more content, for more Marvel Mystic Mayhem content, we'll be doing more stuff with Spider-Man. This is kind of just like an intro video. I think I'll probably write up a guide video or something too in the future. I'm pretty new to YouTube, so bear with me here. I think I've made one guide for a different game, and that was like years ago, and it was like before I got into content creation. So I don't really know what I'm doing here. Hopefully this has been okay. We'll be back. I also have Thor. I mean, there's some other characters that I'm also interested in using that I think are a little bit unorthodox from what I'm hearing. Like I've been using Moon Knight as my healer, and he's actually been doing really good. I've been using Misty Knight as a ranged physical damage dealer, even though for some reason, where's her stuff? Oh, I was testing out Doppelganger. That's where it is. Doppelganger did not really live up to the hype, honestly. The only two 2-star DPS characters that I've actually been impressed with so far are Misty Knight, Echo, and Psylocke. I've tried like all of them. A lot of them. Actually, I take that back. I haven't tried Lady Bullseye yet. I gotta try her. She's like the last character that I have that I need to test. So yeah, stay tuned. We might have some more guides. Hopefully we'll have more guides. I gotta find time. I'm also going to be starting to cover Persona 5X, so we've got that coming. I don't think there'll be guides for that, but there's a good chance we'll see some guides for this. But in the meantime,
mind if I drop in?
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. You keep dropping in, Spidey, and we'll see you later. Take care, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Peace.